The Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Honoring Our PAC Act of 2022, otherwise known as the PAC Act, became law on August 10, 2022, and finally addresses one of the most urgent issues for post 9/11 veterans: health problems related to exposure to burn pits and other toxic substances. Wounded Warrior Project has worked for years alongside other veteran service organizations to get this historic legislation passed, but we know that our work has only just begun. In this video, we'll give you an overview of the legislation and dive deeper into who it affects, how it impacts VA healthcare eligibility, and what it means for establishing exposure-related service connection. The PAC Act is a massive victory for veterans in many ways. Here are some of the key takeaways that you should know. The PAC Act grants permanent VA healthcare eligibility to 3.5 million post 9/11 veterans who may have been exposed to toxic substances during service. The PAC Act adds more than 20 new presumptive service-connected disabilities related to exposure to burn pits and other toxic substances for veterans who served in Iraq, Afghanistan, and surrounding areas. It assumes exposure for veterans who served in several other areas where burn pits and other toxic substances are known to have been present. It expands presumptive service-connected disabilities related to Agent Orange exposure. Over the next 10 years, the PAC Act will expand VA healthcare enrollment eligibility for two groups: post 9/11 combat veterans and veterans who served in other areas of known exposure. Next, we'll help you understand whether or not you meet the criteria for either of these two groups. To be considered a post 9/11 combat veteran, you must have served after September 11, 2001, and been awarded one of the following medals: a campaign-specific medal, an Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, a Service-Specific Expeditionary Medal, a Combat-Era Specific Expeditionary Medal, or any other combat theater award established by law or executive order. To be considered a veteran who served in other areas of known exposure, you must have served at the following times, operations, and/or locations: on or after August 2, 1990, in Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, or the United Arab Emirates; on or after September 11, 2001, in Afghanistan, Djibouti, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or Uzbekistan; or any other location VA Secretary determines is appropriate, as future expansion of locations is possible. Eligible operations include Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, New Dawn, Freedom Sentinel, Inherent Resolve, and Resolute Support Mission. You are also considered part of this group if you've had any risk of exposure recorded in an exposure record tracking system, including the Individual Longitudinal Exposure Record, or ILO. If you meet the criteria as a post 9/11 veteran or a veteran who served in other areas of known exposure, we'll now cover important information and timelines you should know for VA healthcare eligibility and enrollment. If you are a post 9/11 combat veteran, you now have 10 years to enroll with the Veterans Health Administration after your discharge date. If you were discharged over 10 years ago, you must enroll in the Veterans Health Administration before October 1st, 2023. Otherwise, you will be subject to the 10-year phased enrollment period, which we will break down in just a moment. If you are a veteran who served in other areas of known exposure, you will be eligible to enroll over a 10-year phased enrollment period, which is determined by your discharge date. Upon the signing of the PAC Act into law, VA began recognizing more than 20 new presumptive service-connected disabilities for veterans with a history of service at specific times and places. There are two components needed for a successful claim under the new law. You will need to specify your time and location of service in a known toxic exposure area. Eligible times and locations include on or after August 2nd, 1990 in Iraq, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Somalia, or the United Arab Emirates. On or after September 11, 2001 in Afghanistan, Djibouti, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, or Uzbekistan. You'll also need to provide a current disability diagnosis from the list of over 20 new presumptive service-connected disabilities, which include these conditions listed on screen. If you can show these two things, then disability compensation can be granted as presumptive of your exposure to burn pits and other toxic substances. I would encourage you to seek the assistance of an accredited service officer when filing a claim for VA benefits. If you need our help, Wounded Warrior Project has an entire team of accredited service officers standing by to serve you. We are honored to serve you, and the passage of this bill demonstrates our enduring commitment to fight for the care and benefits you and your families earned. If you have further questions about how the PACT Act affects you, or if you need help with benefits, please visit woundedwarriorproject.org/PACT or va.gov/PACT. Thank you.